Hello everyone, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for this live telecast by the 3 TV stations of the country, TV1, NBC TV, and MTV. We are continuing our coverage as we count down to September 16th. After today, it's only one more day to September 16th, so the big day. I'm John Higgins. I'm joined by Bradley Valanaki again. How are you, Bradley?
I'm good, John. Pleasure to be with you again on the broadcast.
Of course. And as we say, we're counting down. After today, one more day to September the 16th. Today, we will be talking about the arrival of some very important people to our shores to help us celebrate this important day. And at the top of that, the VIPs who are coming into the country is, of course, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But let's look at what the week was, the last 2 weeks, how it's been up to this point. We've had the military week, and that was quite an important one where all the elements of the defense forces, ours, the Papua New Guinea Defense Force, as well as visiting defense forces, took part in activities that we call, or we refer to, the Defense Force Week. And we began with the fleet review in Port Moresby. And then we went on to the military tattoo and then the air show as well. These were quite exciting, Bradley.
Yeah, of course, John. Important is the military in any country in the world. And of course, Papua New Guinea's military, of course, military pride and of course the time and availability and of course people who went there and were able to go onto the ships and also see the planes firsthand and also the military tattoo was spectacular in itself.
It was. There were moments there that made my jaws drop. There were moments that you could reflect, and there was moments there that you also had that emotional feeling as well, particularly with the techniques, the routine, how it was choreographed and mixed into military precision, and of course they had a bit of culture in it and the whole works. I thought that was exciting. And I think we have a little package on that. Let's just go to that.
As Papua New Guinea counts 50 proud years of independence, the nation has just wrapped up an unforgettable week of military pageantry, unity and patriotism, led by the PNG Defense Force. It all began with the exercise Antap Longol, a symbolic 1,200-kilometer trek from Wewak to Port Moresby, retracing the historic pre-independence march of 1975. Over 50 soldiers, including one determined female trooper, crossed the finish line, passing the baton to PNGDF Commander Rear Admiral Philip Polewara in a tribute to national resilience. Then came the PNGDF Week, a full-scale military showcase bringing together personnel, ships, and aircraft from 10 allied nations. From open ship days that gave civilians the chance to board naval vessels from Australia, Tonga, and beyond, to the spectacular fleet review, where even ships sailed in formation before the Governor General. Maritime pride was on full display. The skies lit up during the air show in downtown Port Moresby as 9 aircraft from PNG and partner nations soared past, including the iconic Bell 212 helicopter flying the national flag. A humanitarian airlift, Operation Plantibalus, saw medical and school supplies airdropped into remote provinces, exemplifying defense with heart. And in the cultural crescendo, the military tattoo dazzled crowds with musical drills from over 300 performers, blending Pacific heritage and military precision. The week concluded with the Unity Parade, drawing over 5,000 citizens in a powerful walk for peace and pride, setting the stage for Independence Day. From our land to the sea and the skies above us, Papua New Guinea's Golden Jubilee celebration so far has not only honored our past, but is redefining the future of national and regional solidarity.
The military tattoo at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium, that was quite memorable. A lot of Papua New Guineans will remember that for a long time if they are part of the Golden Independence Jubilee celebrations. Today we will go to the airport for the arrival of the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward. That is the major event today. But there are other social events today as well. And today is the grand final of the Digicel Cup. And it is between Mendi Muruks and Ley Tigers. And at halftime, the score was at 24-6. Ley Tigers, 24, and Mendi Muruks, 6. And there was another event as well. I think it's the ladies rugby, Bradley.
Yes, John. And I think good signs for the Central Dabaris. They came victors, I think, 16-8. And, and from the visuals, why not? The Central Dabaris, huh? Yes, over the Lahanis, I had 16 points to 8. Good signs for women's rugby league in the country, and good signs for Central women who have come out victors, of course, this afternoon. Almeri Central too, yeah. They can really do it, and they proved it this afternoon at the National Football Stadium. Congratulations to them for a wonderful year, of course, and on the 50th Jubilee anniversary celebrations of the country, quite fitting as well. And Mary Central, yeah, Mapim Kape.
It's a real win, and they will remember that win if they're going to win some other grand finals, whatever. They'll remember this one, because this is special on a special day, on a special weekend.
Exactly.
Okay, we will go to the airport for the arrival of the Duke of Edinburgh a little later on in the program, but he's not the only important VIP visiting to celebrate with us our important day. There have been many other leaders who've come from other parts of the world, particularly the Pacific Islanders, Pacific Island countries. There was a number of them who flew in yesterday, some of them a day before that, and no doubt there will be some of them tomorrow before the 16th of September. I think we have some pictures of many of them coming in by Solomon Air, I think yesterday. There are some pictures of these leaders coming in. Bradley.
Yes, this particular one is from the Solomon Islands. The arrival from our closest neighbors, and of course, Foreign Affairs Minister Justin Tachenko there.
From the Pacific, 5 of our Pacific Island leaders that have arrived in from Solomon Islands, Honiara, from the Pacific Islands Forum. These are our first invited guests that will celebrate the next couple of days with us for our 50th independence anniversary. There's a lot of connection here with the Pacific, and the Pacific plays a big role in our country as well in many different ways. So we're happy to have these heads of state, heads of government, being a part of our celebrations for the next 3 days. It'll be quite a showcase, and we're so happy that all the Pacific Island leaders are here celebrating our independence and 50 years of celebration here in Port Moresby. A lot of them have connection to Papua New Guinea, especially from the Solomon Islands, from Cook Islands, Niue, Tuvalu, Marshall Islands. A lot of these leaders were even educated at our University of Papua New Guinea and in Ley as well. So there's many connections with these Pacific Island leaders, and we look forward to looking after them and giving them a big PNG welcome and hospitality while they're here, and to have a fantastic celebration for our Golden Jubilee, 50th independence of PNG.
And our Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honourable Justin Chachenko. And just on the visiting Pacific Islanders, many of them were at the Hilton Hotel last night attending the independence celebration by the National Fisheries Authority. And that was quite significant because they were talking about the tuna fisheries, a highly migratory species, and it concerns every Pacific Island country as well as Papua New Guinea. So it was quite interesting for the Prime Minister to take them over there. And, of course, he told them about the importance of fisheries. And while they're here, why not talk about a little bit of trade and consolidation in that particular area on our Golden Independence Anniversary celebrations. We will go to a short break right now, and at the other end, we hope that things will happen at Jackson's Airport for the arrival of the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward. Back shortly.
In 1975, I was in Port Moresby. I went to the Stadium for Independence, saw the flag come down and our own flag go up. It was a very moving occasion, and some people were crying to see the Australian flag come down. I was in favour of independence. For our own independent government, there would be mistakes made either way, and I think it's better we make our own mistakes than have someone else making mistakes from a different perspective. I had confidence in Michael Somari as he was at that stage. I had confidence in my late husband. I knew the type of person he was, and many of the other people of that era. Their integrity, their vision, their dreams for their nation, only they could achieve them, not a colonial government. Okay? Happy 50th anniversary to everyone. Enjoy yourself, and remember, small groups of committed people can change the world. That is the way it has always been, and that is the way it will always be.
The early days of Papua New Guinea after independence in 1975. This is the live telecast. We are awaiting the arrival of the aeroplane that is flying in the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, to be part of our Golden Jubilee celebrations. Prince Edward, of course, is the last son of the late Queen and last brother of the King today. Here's some live pictures from the airport, as of course the members of the military as well as government officials who will be there at the airport to officially welcome. Now, of course, the arrival of the Prince is not just a visit by a member of the royal family, but it is also a important government thing. And then that means there'll be government officials at Jackson's airport, particularly government ministers, representatives of the government, as well as senior servants of government who will be there. It's a matter of protocol that they'll be there for that. Now, as we await that, a little earlier today and as late yesterday, a number of officials, VIPs, flew in from the Pacific Island countries as well as a number of other countries. Bradley, if you can go through that list with me.
Of course, John, Papua New Guinea is the big brother in the region, of course, as we say. And of course, we've seen a number of leaders from the Pacific coming. And of course, the Prime Minister of Tuvalu, the Honorable Feleti Tio, and MP and the wife arrived. And also the Prime Minister of Niue, the Honorable Dalton Tagelagi, and also His Excellency Wesley Sinema, the President of the Federated States of Micronesia. The Honorable Mark Brown, of course, the Prime Minister of Cook Islands, and the wife also arrived in the country. The Honorable Ped Chanel Agovaka, the Foreign Minister of the Solomon Islands, also arrived. And the Honorable Jennifer Sekan, the Minister for Justice in Palau, and also Jared Sakios, the Special Envoy from the Marshall Islands, arrived here in the country. So in the coming days, of course, John, we will be having visitors and friends of Papua New Guinea coming to join us for special celebrations for the 50th anniversary, and we're looking at that in the next couple of days coming.
Yes. And these are live pictures from the airport. We're all anticipating the arrival of the royal baluch, if you like, that'll fly in the Prince. And he will be, I think, the most important, the central guest, if you will, for our anniversary celebrations. And pictures there of course, the combined militaries of Papua New Guinea Defence Force, as well as Australia, I'd like to think, and New Zealand as well. We're all part of the Commonwealth, and I think it becomes a combined effort of our militaries to welcome His Royal Highness. So that's how it is at the airport. We will bring you all of that when the baluch lands and all the formalities that go with it. And while we wait for that, let's also say a little bit about not just the leaders who had just arrived, and Bradley, you went through all of them, but we had one or two other important leaders who visited Papua New Guinea a few days ago, maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It was the New Zealand Prime Minister who graced our shores for other government formalities, but also during our Independence Anniversary Month. And then there was the visit by the Solomon Islands Prime Minister. This time he's being represented by his deputy, I think. But he, the Honorable Isaiah, his second name gets me, but he came in, and also the Secretary General of the United Nations. He also graced our shores, and on our Independence Anniversary Month, it was quite important. But they had to go back, but of course, they sent other representatives to be with us on September the 16th. We're waiting for the aeroplane that'll fly in Prince Edward for our Golden Jubilee celebration. But as we wait, Prince Edward is not the first to visit our shores. Of course, members of the royal family have been visiting Papua New Guinea before, at independence and after independence, on important occasions that we had in this country. Here is a report that I put together of the royal visits that we've had since Papua New Guinea became that country. This is Prince Edward's first visit to Papua New Guinea, an honor that completes visits to our shores by all members of the royal family under the late Queen Elizabeth II. The Queen herself visited us during self-government in 1974 and assured us then of her support for independence and onwards as a Commonwealth country. She visited us again in 1977 to mark her silver jubilee on the throne, and in 1982 with her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, as part of a month-long tour of the South Pacific after the Commonwealth Games in Australia.
Now meeting by me come back, came long-looking you fellow, long time behind.
Prince Edward's elder brother, now King Charles, first came to Papua New Guinea in 1966 as a student of the Geelong Grammar School in Australia, where he studied history. He came here as part of a school excursion. Prince Charles then represented his mother, the Queen, during Papua New Guinea's independence in 1975. He returned in 1984 to open the new Parliament House, and again in 2012. By this time, he did learn some Pidgin.
Ladies and gentlemen, me number one Piccadilly belong Mrs. Quinn.
He came with his wife, Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, to celebrate the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. Prince Edward's sister, Princess Anne, visited Papua New Guinea in 2005 to take part in Papua New Guinea's 30th independence celebrations, and again in 2022 as part of her Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations on the throne, or 70 continued years on the throne.
And thank you for your warm welcome here this evening, and for the really wonderful welcome we both received on arrival. I was enormously touched by that reception, and after 31 years that was a remarkable welcome back. That, of course, was my first visit, was accompanying Her Majesty the Queen in 1974. And then, of course, I was Piccadilly belong Mrs. Quinn. I seem to remember that my father was big fella belong Mrs. Quinn. And does that make my husband big fella belong Piccadilly belong Mrs. Quinn? I'm sure you'll help us before long. I think I need to brush up on my Pidgin. Partly because the three phrases I can remember are barely repeatable in public. It is a real pleasure to be here to help in your celebrations for this, the 30th anniversary year of the country's independence.
Prince Edward's other brother, Prince Andrew, also came to Papua New Guinea twice, first in 1991 and again in 2015, both to open the Pacific Games hosted by Papua New Guinea.
I would just like to congratulate everybody on the most amazing, spectacular opening ceremony. It now gives me the greatest of pleasure, on behalf of Her Majesty, to declare the 15th Pacific Games open.
Prince Edward's visit to Papua New Guinea for our Independence Golden Jubilee celebrations as the 15th in line to the throne. He arrives on Sunday. His activities here include 1-hour PIR change of military colors from the Queen to the King at Murray Barracks tomorrow, a visit to the new courthouse complex on Independence Day, and later attend the PNG Independence Spectacular at Sir John Guy Stadium. His program also include a number of engagements with communities within the city before departing on Wednesday. We're wondering if Prince Edward will speak a bit of Pidgin, as was the case with his mother, his brothers, his sister. Maybe a little bit of Motu might make him very special on our very special day. Bradley.
Yeah, John, look, we've had these visits from the royal family, you know, dating back to independence and before that, and we've seen that. And of course, in Papua New Guinea, let's not forget the symbol of the royal family is represented by the Governor General, of course, and the first Governor General of Papua New Guinea was late, of course, Sir John Guys, and that's a symbol of our connection still with the Commonwealth.
Yes, Bradley, and that is not likely to change. We're part of the Commonwealth, will continue to be there. Here's some live pictures coming to you from Jackson's Airport here in Port Moresby. We are waiting the arrival. The Baluch is nearby, we are told. We'll be arriving at Jackson's Airport, the aeroplane that'll fly in, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, who will be representing his brother, the King, on our 16th, on the 16th of September, as we celebrate our 50th Independence Golden Jubilee celebrations. Wow, that's quite a moment. And as we await for the plane to land, I think we're told that the plane has landed. So let's stay on those pictures at Jackson's Airport this afternoon. A little overcast. Today, Port Moresby has had a little bit of rain. We didn't quite expect that. A blessing, Bradley, or because it's been hot and sunny, how many months up to that point yesterday?
John, we cannot explain this kind of phenomena, but in Papua New Guinea, on special events, there's always rain in Port Moresby.
Yes.
And yeah, something that we cannot explain. The plane is landing, we are told, John.
Yes, and getting out of the car right now is the head of the Papua New Guinea Defense Force. All the little formalities, all the little things to do, if you will, as they wait for the prince to arrive. And of course, you will have the Governor General. You will have government officials who will be there. You will have senior members of our civil service, our public service who will be there as well. And this is just a formal part of saying welcome to our shores to the Duke of Edinburgh.
And John, these are pictures coming to us from the APEC terminal in Port Moresby at the Jackson's International Airport. And of course, that area is a
we have a number of terminals out there. You've got the domestic terminal not far down, a little bit down, and then you've got the international, and then you've got the APEC terminal specifically designed for accepting or saying welcome to VIPs such as this. And there you are, the Baluch Karim Prince Edward ikam long country blo yumi. Last beginning blong Queen na liklik barata blong man usat King Tete blong Commonwealth.
Yes, John, Papua New Guinea, yumi stop one them all get all country inside long display ground, only call him Commonwealth. Yumi part long display all get all country stop all same. Na now you may look him and picking any man long queen also you talk penis. He come up inside long country long you may Papua New Guinea. Now you know number one time you may look him all royal family come only come before two. Also you may show him legal time you go finish.
I guess that's the moment, that's the time that Port Moresby and Papua New Guinea has been anticipating and preparing for a visitor, but the most important visitor to our shores to celebrate our golden independence jubilee. And of course there'll be a number of formalities will be conducted at the airport, and as you can see, as the plane is taxiing in, you saw there guns there. There are a tradition that you give a firing of the gun salute, if you like. It's a salute that is accorded normally to a very important visitor like a member of the royal family. And at the airport, of course, the Governor General. So Bob Dade will be there to welcome the Prince. And of course also there will be, as it is listed down, as it's prepared, there will be government representatives at the airport as well. You can't see them because and rightly so, the cameras are on the plane that is taxiing in with the Prince, the Duke of Edinburgh, and as far as government officials at the airport to greet him, to welcome him, will be the Deputy Prime Minister, in this case the Honourable John Rossa, and the Honourable Justin Chichenko as Minister for Foreign Affairs. And this is, of course, the national capital, of which we have a governor of the National Capital District, the Honourable Powers Pakop, will be there also to welcome the Prince, and the members of the discipline force there. Of course, the Police Commissioner, David Manning, will be there, and Ivan Pomelau, the acting Chief Secretary to Government, will also be there. And Elias Wohengu, who is the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, and it is important that he's also there. And we've already mentioned that the Rear Admiral Philip Polawara, the Chief of the Defense Force, who I think was there and took the salute a little earlier on. So there's the Baluch, there's the aeroplane, taxiing into the dais where all the formalities will be quick, brief, but it is nevertheless traditional and quite important that such a formality is accorded to a member of the British royal family.
Yes, John, and in an event like this, it's custom, it's ceremonial, it's fitting for such in the Commonwealth, and Papua New Guinea is privileged to be receiving the Prince of the Duke of York, the Duke of Edinburgh, His Royal Highness Prince Edward, on our shores in Papua New Guinea.
Yes, what else can we say? As we highlighted a little earlier on in that report, that he is the last member of the royal family and the Queen, and he visits us, completing that family onto our shores on very important time. Of course, we said that the Queen Mother and Prince Philip, her husband, both of them, of course, are deceased now, but they visited our country, as we said, before independence, during independence, and after. And of course, Prince Charles, who is now the king, visited our shores as well, even in 1966 as a student on excursion, on a student excursion, when he was studying, I think, history at Australian grammar. And he visited our country when he was about 18 years old, fairly young. And so, well, he spoke a bit of pidgin, so why not? And the challenge is on his youngest brother now.
Of course, John, and quite fitting. You see, we had King Charles who visited the country Papua New Guinea, and now you have Prince Edward, the last born. So a red carpet welcome, of course, royal, fitting for this occasion, a grand one. And all eyes are now fixed on the aeroplane right now.
Okay, the doors are open. The door is open. There is one door, but we don't expect the prince to just quickly come out of there. There's certain foreign affairs and immigration formalities that need to be followed within the plane, and I think these have been done. We got a number of people who are now going to line up along the red carpet area to welcome him, I'd like to think. It's all happening here at the APEC terminal, Jackson's Airport in Port Moresby. The arrival of the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward, to be part of our celebrations, Papua New Guinea's 50th independence anniversary, the Golden Jubilee celebrations, which will be celebrated on the 16th. Prince Edward is here a day and a half. Before that, there are a number of events and engagements that he'll be a part of, and everyone is looking forward to that. And for many Papua New Guineans, they have not seen the last son of the Queen close up, and they will get that opportunity. Well, for the rest of the country, Nogat, Tasolin, Port Moresby, and Port Moresby is a mixing part of the country, so I'll get that opportunity. And there he is. He is walked down from his aeroplane, and the first person that normally meets him, or a VIP like that, would be the chief of protocol. And in this case, his name is Lucas Manduro. And he, of course, will introduce him to the officials of Papua New Guinea who are now at the airport to welcome the prince.
Yeah, of course, John, I think the Foreign Affairs Minister was the first to...
And I think the gun salute had gone off as well. This smoke you see in the back, yeah, there's another one of them. It's tradition that happens. So there's quite a number of officials are at the airport to welcome home the prince.
Yeah, John, and there we have the police commissioner just paying his respects. Followed by members of the military. And of course, the Rear Admiral and the commander of the PNG Defence Force,
Philip Polewara. He incidentally, or by the way, is the first commander or head of the defense force from the sea element of the defense force. He becomes the first. The others have been from the land element. Over to the official dais where he will take the military salute.
Yeah, John, and at the background, there's still guns are still going off.
I think the prince is now going to inspect the guard of honor. There he is, Papua New Guinea, the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Edward. Last la pignini blong late Queen Elizabeth II. And we come long country blow yumi long stop one time mipla long ba mipla celebrating this big day blow mipla and 50th independence anniversary long country and by start 2 or 3 day one time mipla and then ba go back. Mibla ama solsem em kam.
Em nào John, em look now, em skelly mol. Ami blong yumi olisana blong Jackson airport. Oli looky mol sem olisana porai to. Happy alright, set you alright, oli takin good. Em kind of skelly me walk him now.
He's completed one row and another, and now I think he's on the final row and back to the dais.
And I think John is inspecting the military band now, Edinburgh, in which he is the Duke, is a ceremonial or important hub for music, basically, and military tattoos is also synonymous to that part of the world.
Yes, and they were a sight to behold at the military tattoo, Hubert Murray Stadium. Quite an attraction. And Trump there, what do you call that? A Trump, making a big statement about the country.
The colors of the Kumul, the colors of Papua New Guinea. Splendid. And he seems quite happy there, John.
Well, there was some concern that it might rain. It held up, a little bit overcast, but it held up. And in fact ended up turning a fine day, fine afternoon for the arrival of the Royal Highness.
Yeah, John, symbol of royalty on Papua New Guinea soil.
Sacred, isn't it? All rituals almost. Performed every time a member of the royal family visits any country.
True.
These are the formalities that they go through.
This is ceremonial, customary, but greatness, isn't it?
The Royal Automobile. And going into the car, no doubt, is his close-up secretary, the right-hand man, if you will, and in goes the prince. Well, there you are, the Prince Edward. He has arrived. He took the salute at the APEC terminal at Jackson's in Port Moresby. The formality is completed. He's being now whisked away to his hotel, to where he will be staying. And then he has a number of engagements over tomorrow, and of course the big day on Tuesday. So, and Bradley, if you'd like to go over some of these engagements tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big day where he will be at the Murray Barracks for the handover of colors by the 1-hour PIR at Murray Barracks tomorrow. So let's run through that.
Yeah, John, I think many of these engagements that will be taking place here in the country is ceremonial and is fitting for any royal who visits any country for that matter. And in Papua New Guinea, of course, the engagement with military is an important one. And of course, the royal family, of course, have a long history with the militaries and of course, service throughout the world. So it's quite fitting that that engagement will be so tomorrow.
Yes, and that'll be one. But I think before that, he'll be visiting the National Courthouse at Waigani, which was kind of officially opened a day or so ago. But he will be doing the real formalities. He will be officially opening that, and I think the official part is that the Duke of Edinburgh opened this particular complex. The complex that is important to the governance in the country, one of the most important arms of the country. There are three arms of government: the legislature, of course, which is the parliament; the executive, which is, of course, the government, the prime minister and his cabinet; and then the judiciary. That is the pillar of any democracy, and ours is quite strengthened by this new building at Waigani. It cost a couple of million kina to build, but I think it is worth that investment to strengthen that important arm of government.
Of course, John, and you mentioned the judiciary. The judiciary in Papua New Guinea is vibrant, it's alive, it's well, it's part of the democratic process that should happen in any country like Papua New Guinea, for that matter, and to have that world-class facility is fitting for that matter. We have a parliament, we should have a judiciary and a building that's of world-class and, of course, fitting like that. And from the pictures that I've seen, it's truly significant.
Yeah, well, it's a courthouse. I think just a little bit on that. The courthouse is, whatever the building, and in our case, it cost a lot of money, but it is a place that makes a statement of authority. Is it not, Bradley?
Of course, John. And we just told from our studio crew that, and of course, this we have the grand final happening for the semi-professional league in Papua New Guinea, and our friends from Ley have come out victorious, 36-16 over the Mandi Moruks. Congratulations to our fellas in Ley. Not the first time. They've done it a couple of times, and one more time, Ian Chow is a happy man there. Live pictures there, switching over to the Digital Cup.
Wow. Hey.
Rugby league, we love rugby league in this country.
Oh yes. We are breathing rugby league. We are sleeping with it. We are eating with it. We are talking about it all the time.
We are also betting for it now.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so we are now coming to the end of this particular telecast, where we went on air to welcome the Duke of Edinburgh, the Prince, and we are coming to the end, but I just want to touch on what might happen on the 16th. The 16th will be, of course, the flag-raising ceremony in the morning, and then we said the Prince will visit the courthouse and officially open it, and then in the afternoon. He also has a number of other engagements, but that is, left to the side. But in the afternoon, he will take part with us for the grand finale, the big one, at the Sir John Guy Stadium here in Port Moresby on Tuesday, as we celebrate our 50th Golden Independence Jubilee. That's a big one. And we know that all of Papua New Guinea are looking towards that time. And there's a few pictures out of Jackson's at the APEC terminal. Members of the disciplined forces are now retreating. They're marching back to their quarters, if you will. And that brings to the end of what we had just witnessed a few minutes ago, the arrival of the Duke of Edinburgh, the Prince who will be part of our independence anniversary celebrations. Bradley, one last word from you before we close that.
Oh, just royalty, and remembering that we are part of the bigger family in the world, which is called the Commonwealth.
Okay. On that note, tomorrow we will come to you in the morning with another telecast of the change of colors of the Royal 1R PIR at Murray Barracks in Port Moresby in the morning. So please join us for that. And for now, from Bradley and me, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining this telecast of the Papua New Guinea Defence Force Week. This is the air show today, part of that week marking the country's 50th independence anniversary. I have here in the studio with me once again my colleague Bradley Valanaki. Thank you very much for being part of us today.
Yeah, John, happy to be on.
And also, someone special, and this is Lieutenant Colonel Douglas Vava of the air element of the Papua New Guinea Defence Force. Lieutenant Colonel, Thank you very much for gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay. Well, tell me where you're from, Lieutenant.
I'm from Eastern Britain.
Eastern Britain?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And currently the commanding officer of the Air Transport Wing.
All right. I think we are ready at Ella Beach at APEC House where Mamafu Kapera, one of the voices of the last 2 days or so, is down at Ella Beach. And let's see what we're up to down there.
The fly past, for those of you who are watching on TV and also listening on radio, if you know the landmass between Baga Point and Koki Point and the fish market at Koki, you will understand that we are right here at Ella Beach. The Motokoitabuans call this landmass Era Kone. And the Papua New Guinea red, black and gold and the white stars were raised to signify the birth of a new nation in the Commonwealth of Nations in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, next, the Royal Australian Air Force C-130J Hercules, making 3 passes in different configurations. This aircraft cruises at over 600 kilometers per hour, can carry more than 20 tons of cargo or over 120 troops, and is renowned for operating from short and unprepared airstrips. We have a lot of these in the outposts of Papua New Guinea.
Yes, it's deploying its boom. That's the boom there. And we've got someone sleeping in the back. They're known as a boom operator. So
You've got someone sleeping in the back?
yeah, that boom operator. So the aircrew are in front, and the boom operators in the back. They've lowered the boom just to show the crowd how it looks. And
You've got to be well secured there, though. I mean, guys are sleeping.
It's a really tight spot, really tight for that operator. And they have a small section there, and they'll be able to watch the aircraft refueling come up, and they actually control that boom, and it goes in, sticks onto the aircraft, refuels very quickly, and then the refueling aircraft moves away, and then it can retract that boom very quickly and fly off.
Wow, the timing's got to be precision. It's got to be spot on. You can't allow for turbulence there when you're refilling.
No.
Spill fuel is dangerous, eh? F gas.
Yeah, definitely. I think they have some limits on when they can refuel weather-wise. So if the weather's not good, I'm sure they won't be able to refuel. Yes, that's the C-27J Spartan from the Royal Australian Air Force, 35 Squadron. So it's just doing some very steep turns there, so tight turns. Engine's working very hard, and it's flying, showing its ability to be able to maneuver in tight areas in PNG. And you can see wherever it operates in our short airstrips, sometimes it's got to be able to do that. That's a nice climb there to height, and then it'll continue to do some turns.
I can't wait for the flare.
Yeah, it should be spectacular. Hopefully there's no one down at on over water. I'm sure they've been cleared out, but it would be a spectacular
Maybe
sight.
that's why he kind of climbed.
I think it's part of the show. They'll have to climb to a safe height and then conduct that part of the show.
Air Niugini's Boeing 767-300ER. Boeing 767-300ER, Air Niugini.